think the dryer's too loud.
No.
Hi everybody, we are back again for, is it the fourth day in a row?
Yep.
I think, going strong. This is Sunday Chronicles.
Our internet bill is going to be insane due to the net neutrality.
Do you know what's happening with that?
No.
I haven't either. It's cool though. We're living in the moment, everything's going to be cool. But this is Sunday Chronicles with Chris and Cassie, episode 26. Of the world, but not in it, is the title. And Chris said he wants to ask me a question. I have no idea what it is, so we're going to get started there and see what happens.
I don't know. I'm going to say that...
Till when? I was all excited.
Okay.
But it's fine, whatever.
I messaged you today and said that I have a question. I've been toying with this question since I was a young tyke. And I think a lot of people have the same question.
Okay.
So the question is, if we are all created in the image of, how come there are more than one truth?
Is there more than one truth?
Apparently.
What do you mean by that?
Everyone has a truth. Everyone. Everyone lives what they think is the truth.
Yeah.
But if we're all created equally in the image of, how come there are more than one truth?
Because I don't think it's
And the answer lies in the title of this show.
I feel like, well, let me get this thought out. I don't think it has to do with the title. I feel like I'm going to take his phone away. That's loud. Sorry, I'm back. Okay. Say your question one more time real quick.
If we are all created in the image of, we are all created, we're one...
A fragment of God.
Yeah, if we're all created in the image of, how come everyone has a different truth?
Excuse me. Because as long as you are finding your truth and looking within, I think...
No, I'm saying, let's go. The two major religions of the world. One is the truth, the other is the truth. They fight all the time.
Well, because people are so unaware of what they're repeating.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
Of people.
I'm saying
years. They are
years.
so used to just doing what they're told, like the extremist sides. Versus actually going to the beginning, because every religious text basically says love your neighbor like yourself.
Yeah.
I did a post about that before, and it was great. Know thyself, treat others like you want to be treated.
So there is a misinterpretation of this original,
Yeah, I think it's been over years.
People make it their own truth.
I feel that people kind of maybe bend the rules. There really are no rules. You have free will and all these things. However, I think people make it fit them.
You know what
without working through the pain that happens when you are when you are living your life for others selflessly. There's some pain involved to get there and know yourself, and I think that's too much for a lot of people, so they may not want to attempt that, so they just kind of make it work for them. Attempt looking within, and attempt
traveling from
the head to the heart.
So you're on target now. I'm going to ask the question again. How come there's more than one truth?
Because
like
people haven't made that trip from the head to the heart.
We're
because
all
your
at
heart,
different levels of journey.
Yes, because your heart knows the truth. You feel it. It's
Yeah.
all based on feeling versus thinking.
What if
and logic.
Person A is here, person B is here, person C is here? They're each going to have a different truth, right?
Yeah. Because your perception, I think, at each level is a little bit different.
I always say life is like a video game. Most people on this planet are going to... Cassie's the gamer. I like to watch the games. I don't really like to play, but I understand the video game concept. Most of humanity is on level 1, learning how to play the game. There are very few in this world that have taken that trip. And now I'm going to expand this even further. We say head to the heart all the time. Once you get to the heart, that's not the end of the journey. You go deep. It's limitless. We've always said that. How far removed from the world must you go to get to the heart?
I just changed my cover photo on here to a Rumi quote that it's funny because I didn't really know what we were going to be talking about.
Uh-huh.
And it's, life is a balance of holding on and letting go, from Rumi.
Yeah.
And I think we talk so much about letting go, and that goes into what you're saying right now, letting go of people, places, past things, all of that is such a huge part, not only from the head to the heart, but beyond that. I think that next step, you can be in your heart, however, you may still have things to let go. And I mean, it's limitless, so you're constantly working self-work every day.
Yeah.
So you have something, holding on, what I think Rumi meant by that is holding on literally to the concept of being here. You gotta kind of hold on to that because it's tough
Should
sometimes.
we respect those that stay on level 1 and are learning how to play the video game?
Of course, that's compassion.
That's compassion, and that's a yes. We should have respect and compassion for. Should we allow them to be mean and run over and take control and try to force that level 1 mentality on
The masses.
on the masses? But should that ignorance affect me, for example? I've made that journey and I've dove into the void and I'm fucking freestyling every day. Should that pettiness, that greed,
that's going to hold you back from your personal growth and
Right.
your journey.
Right.
By holding on to others, we talked about this yesterday, was that the episode? Having others' anger and their bitterness. Don't let that affect you. It's
so
your
I
choice.
shouldn't allow that.
Not.
Shouldn't even register on my
because
radar.
I feel that when you get to a point of self-work and you see we're all connected, you see we're all part of the divine and all of these things, you understand and have compassion for everyone, no matter where they're at, even if they have personally tried to do something to you or whatever it may be.
Because it's all in ignorance that they're acting.
And it's not saying that anyone is superior than the other. It's just that some have chosen
Now, you're showing mad respect to an individual, like I said yesterday, has no clue, they have no clue.
But typically along with that, there's emotional pain, there's turmoil, all of these things, and can't figure out why.
Yeah.
And so that's where...
And when they try to throw that on to...
Or even just asking questions all the time, like, what do I do, what do I do? And you kind of... All you can do is lead by example.
Let me go somewhere now. What I've realized, what do I do, right? What were you just asking for? One word. What do I do? What were you asking for? Advice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone else to tell you what to do.
Yesterday we talked about exploring consciousness. I want to talk about the difference between exploring consciousness and education, or a smart person. Education, modern education, is a memorization from grade school to the top levels of whatever the highest things you have to get, degrees. It's all memorization, and there's a limit. Think about that for a second. You can master memorization limit. There is a point to where you can't memorize anymore because there's nothing else to memorize. That comes with answers and advice. The collective consciousness are questions and understandings. And if someone is interested in exploring their own collective consciousness, all you can do is help guide them to understand their own questions.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
And that's the complete difference between an educated man and someone, psychonaut who's exploring their consciousness.
And I think that's where, to me...
And it's limitless at that point.
And that's where it really feels like universities and things like that, it's all backwards, because it's all to suit the 9-to-5 job.
Sure, no, and it's a huge moneymaker too.
But we talked about this too yesterday. I think the real job, quote unquote job, is exploring your consciousness. Yeah. That is why we're here. That's the reason
that we're here.
We're here and that is, to elevate and evolve.
Yeah, and it's catching on. It's catching on. But the title of this is how far removed, or how far removed from the material world must you be to make that path from the head to the heart?
And we're of this world, but
not in it. So we've talked about those at level 1 video game, learning how to play the game shouldn't affect
your growth or your emotional state.
That are going, and you have every right to cut them off, right?
That's what we talked about yesterday too, that obligation. You're not obligated to stick around if someone is bringing you down. Yeah. In the simplest of terms, if they're bringing you down, that could be emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever it may be. You're not obligated
to deal with their abuse.
And what's interesting, we've talked a lot about selfish and selfless. It's hard to say those a lot in our talks before, and for some reason the thought I had, just not because it was a thought, not a feeling. My thought was, is it selfish to cut these people off when they're, quote, in need? But it's not, because you are being selfless.
Define in need. What do you mean by that?
That's why I said in need.
Yeah. And what are they in need of?
They're in need of answers because they believe they are in need of answers of how to get out of their particular situation, which they don't know.
I just called you honey on live TV. Honey. People enjoy being miserable. I'm sorry. And that is why it's such a tough leap from the head to the heart. There's a comfortable chaos that people enjoy because they throw fun into it, and
they think they can control.
Yeah,
that too. There's parts of control type of thing with that, I think.
And it's a stubbornness. No one wants to have the Joan quote we always talk about. No one wants to have to go in, and then suffering kicks in, and suffering causes you to go in. It's the law of confusion, universal laws. That's a whole specific thing we'll get into later on, but the law of confusion is a gift. Mm-hmm. And you better be grateful for it.
The law of confusion comes with that suffering. And suffering is necessary to grow. It's necessary
to, it is part of
what lesson will I learn from this versus I'm in misery, this is horrible.
Yeah.
And keep manifesting more suffering.
And so whether a human being knows it or not, and as conservative as you want to be, suffering is going to make you go within. So
and our natural default is sweetness and is helping the whole and all of that.
And the reason I say conservative is because the conservative stops evolution. That the conservative word, if you read the definition, it means stop evolving. And I've always found that really fascinating.
No, but
I was
just going to finish my thought about letting go of people who are latching on, letting go of people who are latching on to you because you continue your growth and they're still at level 1 trying to figure out the game. And there's only so much you can do by lead by example. But if they're bringing you down mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, any of those things, it's not selfish. I feel that it is not selfish to walk away from them because what you're doing peacefully, because what you're doing not only for yourself, by elevating yourself, others will come with you. And when I say others, I mean the planet, the vibrations get higher on this planet. You would lead by example the more, you know what I'm saying?
I really don't, this may sound shitty. I've stopped caring for those who don't care about themselves and their own
or the planet
evolution.
Or anyone else.
There is a mad unconditional love. I see the divine in them, and I see them on level 1 trying to figure out how to play the game. And it's unfortunate because of their indoctrination. If you go study their back roots, they've had a very tough, well, some have had it very easy. That's why but that misery becomes company and they get used to it and blah, blah, blah. So,
well, all I was getting at is that to work on yourself is not selfish. And I just, for some reason, felt really, that's basically what I was getting at. I just felt like I should say that because I think for my personal journey, that was something that I think I didn't even know I was doing. It felt selfish to stop and work on yourself and not involve other people in your life anymore. It's kind of a weird way to think, but it's just, we're so used to needing that acceptance from others and outwardly that I think we kind of naturally feel like we're doing a selfish, weird thing to block everybody out and work on ourselves.
That's a brilliant point. Very cool. What was I going to say? Oh, I know what I was going to say. Another thing came to me
Jim.
today.
Jim wrote something. We'll read it later, but I just wanted to say hi, Jim. That was nice. Stop. This is what we look like when we read tiny print.
Yeah. Jim Thacker, his daughter...
Talk about someone living from your heart.
His daughter, Jim was a member of our gym in Prosper, Texas. Absolutely amazing man. Has a daughter, Bailey, and Channel 8, Mark Mueller and team came out and
did a story on WFAA Channel 8 here about Bailey, Being Bailey.
It's called Being Bailey. You can see it on our Facebook page.
Story.
You know, we need to put that on the YouTube channel too. We also have a YouTube channel, Instagram, all of that other stuff. But
the story about Bailey is, it's all about
being in the moment. Bailey's one of the most beautiful examples of life. That, anyways, she won an Emmy, and it was. Cassie got to present it to her at her school. But anyways, hi Jim.
Thank you for the nice message.
Read Jim's message, and he's doing big things with special needs children. He just found his purpose, and good on you. So we love Jim Thacker.
Yes,
and Bailey.
And Bailey.
As you travel, and this is Bailey in a nutshell, more inward.
I know, it makes us emotional every time we talk about her, but you want me to go somewhere?
No.
Okay, you're good.
Hey, you talk.
That's why I was like, the more you... I'm not sure exactly where you're going, but the more
you travel inward, the more fascinated with life you become.
Yeah. And you can see that on someone. You can see who has fascination with life, and Bailey is one of those people. So that's why we're just bringing her up with this. But yeah, the more you travel inward, really life is beautiful is a real thing, and even if it hurts,
which takes you away from the material world.
Yeah, you find freedom. It is a feeling of freedom to know that, yeah, it could, we have stuff, we have stuff.
We have shit.
We have stuff.
Yeah,
but
it's called life.
But it's, part of that, but really, you don't need any of it,
Yeah, I thought about that a couple of days ago. I was thinking, you said something to Laz, you said it today, you go, that's Dada's. And I was thinking to myself, I don't own anything. What is she talking about that's mine?
About. No, it was,
like, I have a possession? Whoa.
It was like a piece of paper or something.
Anyways, I thought that was so funny. It was like, it's like Ben Stiller on. Somebody said they were close to me?
Yeah. In Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Anyways, so traveling inward, it's not a selfish thing to do. It's okay to let go.
Regain what you lose as a child.
Tenfold. Yeah.
I wrote something a long time ago, and it says
that essence of
the innocence of youth is a high price to pay. When you learn the truth, it all goes away. Of that, and then I wrote that in 95. But it won't leave my mind, And it's...
Say it one more time.
The innocence of youth is a high price to pay. When you learn the truth, it all goes away.
Yeah.
And that means a lot of things in one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I wrote that in 1995. I think I was in the Marine Corps.
You were probably in your 50s.
Yeah.
In the 90s. Anyways, sorry.
But,
oh, man.
Yeah. And...
No, it's true. That means a lot of things.
Yeah, the more you go within, the more awe-inspiring life becomes. And there's a whole nother world behind that world you're living in now.
We always, behind the bookshelf. Behind the bookshelf.
Matthew McConaughey. What was the
a lot
movie?
of references today.
Yeah. What was that?
Not Interstellar. That was the other one.
The Matthew McConaughey space movie. And,
it's great.
That behind the bookshelf reference is fucking strong.
Yeah. Well, what we always say, it's like, I can't wait. All right, seeing something with these eyes, meaning your third eye is open. These eyes, the eyes that are back to childlike.
Yeah. In awe
of everything. Because when we say be the baby, that's one of our favorite things to say, because look at how a child looks at everything. Everything's wow. Yeah. Everything's amazement. Everything's beautiful. There's not...
Yeah.
And they're not naturally scared of anything.
No.
It's fear. Fear that's instilled upon them. There's a few things that may freak them out because it's new, but they're interested and they're...
I'm gonna Be the Baby is going to. We're trademarking that right now. That has been with us since Target. Remember, I saw the little baby in Target, and I was like, "Little babies are so in the moment." And then we just started.
Oh yeah, babies are so. We love saying "Be the Baby." They're so in the moment.
Yeah.
Everything is beautiful.
We're gonna do a whole series on Be the Baby. I think
everything is love through their eyes,
and
that's how it's meant to be. Because that's the closest to the divine.
Yeah.
They just arrived. And then we spend our whole life learning we learn some truths that aren't real truths. And we get a little lot, which causes us to lose our essence. And with that process of indoctrination and all these other things, then we spend our life hitting our head against the wall, trying to find the divine again, realizing, not knowing it's in us the whole time.
Yep.
And that's what life is right there.
Fuck yeah, Cassie.
Okay. But that's what life is, so... Be the baby. You literally, when people make jokes like your child in diapers, you go back to wearing diapers. But no, it's more, you want to become the baby again, that innocent, the love for life.
What everyone is missing, that little hole in their heart, is that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, it's available.
I mean, when's the last time you went out and ran around in the rain and laughed and played?
This last weekend.
We did that not too long ago, and it was amazing.
Like a bunch of goofballs, and it was the most real.
It was so, it was beautiful. And just little things like that.
Yeah.
Nothing, you see life for the beauty, you see the beauty that is here in everything, because God, Creator,
is everything.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know?
Really cool talk. I'm so happy that everything is, it's like we were meant to do this.
What?
No, I'm just joking. But this is, it's become something special. Thank you. So is it safe to say that we have millions of people watching our videos? You're supposed to go, no, Chris.
Oh, I was trying to manifest positively.
Yeah, so thank you to the millions of people that are watching our videos.
But was there anything else you wanted to kind of end with about removing yourself from the world, kind of what that means and how that is? I hate to say the word mandatory, but it is a part of the process.
No, it is not at all. You don't have to do shit.
That's why I said I don't like the word mandatory, but if you truly...
You're asking me how far away from the material world must you leave. And
yeah, I kind of wanted to end on that because we started talking and I think we got distracted.
Which means there are different levels, which goes back to the video game, which goes back to the compassion.
Infinite levels.
Yeah, the compassion of those who are still on level 1 learning how to play the game. This might be their first incarnation.
That snobby spirituality bullshit is just... Ugh. I'm not trying to judge it. I'm saying there's...
You are judging it.
I know, I just realized that. But
they are allowed to be snobby.
Yeah, and that's true. I just think it's that looking down on others that I'm better than you, and
they are allowed.
But it's missing the point of
they're going
compassion.
To continue
of course,
to evolve.
I'm just saying I think remembering that compassion.
I get where you're coming from.
That remembering compassion for everyone. You don't know what they're going through. They're on their own journey. Everyone individually. It's not about what the other person's doing. It's about you, yourself.
So in essence, you were being snobby by saying that someone else is
I don't
snobby.
know. I know how I feel. I just have a hard time expressing it.
Sometimes you just gotta just be mean. I think it's okay to be mean every once in a while. We call it conservative. That's our running joke. Because we're allowed to have fun. This isn't all serious. This is be vulnerable and have fun and make jokes. Did I sound conservative right there?
You see me laughing? I'm just kidding.
So,
okay. So, anything else?
Yep, that's it.
It's fun talk.
Again, thanks for everybody that watches and start sharing these videos. Go back to YouTube, start sharing them on your pages.
No, and if you ever have anything you want
That's mandatory. Just playing.
If you ever have anything that you want us to talk about, we have another topic after this is over.
I'm going to say something real quick.
No, just if people bring up things that they would love to hear about, I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, I would too.
Because I learned too.
Yeah, I would.
We have some lined up that people have mentioned, so in the future.
I had a good day today. There was a little bit of energies happening, but it was towards the end of the day. It was. I feel like there's completion happening. There's some sort of Saturn is somewhere that is like somewhere. We did the new moon thing.
The moon was a beautiful sliver.
Oh man,
it was just like beautiful. When
I got the yin yang energies over the last couple of days. So did you. Yesterday was powerful, but today seemed peaceful.
Cool. Anything else?
No.
All right.
Namaste, fuckers.
Chris.